Soft winds carry us through the corridors of time, where shadows of sacred temples and desert sands whisper secrets of ancient devotion. Tonight, we drift gently into the world of divine women, where cults and communities once revered their grace, power, and mysterious wisdom. Close your eyes and feel the warmth of flickering torches and the quiet rustle of leaves under moonlight. Each story is a delicate lantern, guiding your spirit into calm reflection, where the sacred and the serene intertwine. Let us wander slowly through these ancient paths, listening to the voices of women who were divine, luminous, and eternal. Their presence lingers in the hush of night, inviting our hearts to rest and our minds to soften. If these stories carry you into gentle dreams, you may leave a soft comment whispering where you're listening from, or subscribe to drift again into calm, ancient nights. The desert lay quiet beneath the soft glow of a silver moon. Sand stretched in gentle waves, pale and endless, each grain carrying the memory of wind and time. The stars flickered slowly, as if blinking to themselves, their light brushing the world like whispers. In the distance, a small village rested, its clay walls warm in the cool night air, and its rooftops glowing faintly under the moon's gaze. A woman walked among the quiet streets, her steps almost a dance, soft as falling leaves. She carried a lantern whose light shimmered like a single star, swinging gently with each motion. Her presence was calm, and yet it seemed to draw the night closer, inviting it to gather around her, wrapping everything in soft shadow and silver light. She was the moon priestess. The villagers slept, wrapped in wool and dreams, yet somewhere in the quiet, her ritual began. She moved toward a circle of stones set high on a hill where the horizon met the sky. Her robes brushed the sand, pale and flowing, catching the gentle wind. The moon hung low, full and bright, spilling a pool of soft light across the desert. "Here," she whispered to the earth, tracing shapes with her hands that echoed the moon's phases. With each motion, the air seemed to bend softly, carrying a faint warmth, as if the night itself leaned in to listen. She murmured the old words, not for any ear but for the heart of the world. They were words that spoke of return, of cycles, of rest. The villagers, far below, were cradled by the rhythm of her voice, even in their sleep. It was the rhythm of silver tides, the silent heartbeat of the moon over the desert. She lifted her hands slowly, fingers reaching like thin branches toward the sky. The stars above seemed to gather, twinkling in gentle acknowledgement, and the moonlight poured over her shoulders. Her eyes reflected the soft glow, calm and unshakable. Here she was a bridge, between earth and sky, between shadow and light. She called to the cycles that shaped life, to the quiet movements of seasons, to the hidden patterns of the night. A small fire flickered nearby, placed carefully in the circle. Its flames were gentle, flickering like tiny moons, casting long moving shadows across the stones. She moved around it slowly, her steps almost a meditation, her voice carrying soft songs that mingled with the breeze. Each note seemed to reach the ears of every living thing. The night birds perched on distant cliffs, the desert foxes slinking quietly through the dunes, the old olive trees swaying lightly in the wind. All were part of this gentle communion, a whispering of life beneath the moon. She knelt by the fire, and in her hands she held a small bowl of water. It reflected the moon's light, a mirror for the sky. She dipped her fingers in and let the water fall, trickling down the sand. The sound was soft, almost a sigh, blending with the distant murmur of the village sleeping. Each droplet was a blessing, a promise of rest and renewal. In her quiet, patient way, she reminded the world of rhythm, of pause, of returning. The moon priestess raised her head and looked toward the horizon, where the first hint of night's end rested. There in the distance, the faintest colors of dawn began to stir, pale pinks and soft blues brushing the edge of the desert sky. She stayed in the circle, her form calm and steady, letting the slow dance of light guide her. Every gesture, every breath seemed measured to the turning of the moon itself. She was not hurried, not restless. She moved only as the night allowed, gentle and sure. Above her the stars shifted slightly, twinkling in quiet patterns. She traced them with her eyes, learning the stories written there long before she had walked these sands. Each star held a memory, each constellation a path to follow. She whispered their names, slowly, syllable by syllable, letting her voice float up into the night. It carried on the soft wind, brushing across dunes, entering the ears of creatures and the hearts of people. Even without understanding, her words were a balm, a gentle pull toward sleep, toward calm, toward being held. The villagers began to stir slightly in their dreams. Some felt a soft warmth, like a blanket brushing against skin. Some heard a faint music, a quiet rhythm that made the night feel safe. Even the children in the village, tucked deep in their beds, seemed to breathe a little slower, cradled by something they could not see but could feel. The tender presence of the moon priestess and the moonlight she carried. She rose again, walking slowly around the circle, her fingers trailing over the stones. Each stone seemed to respond, holding the heat of her touch, the calm of her presence. She moved in soft arcs, turning with the moon, marking invisible patterns in the air, invisible paths for the spirit to follow. The desert itself seemed to bend slightly, softened in the embrace of her ritual, cradled by the light and shadow she wove. A gentle breeze stirred, carrying scents of sage and dry sand. She inhaled softly, letting the wind fill her lungs, then exhaled, letting it flow outward. Each breath was a bridge between the earth and sky, between night and day, between sleep and wake. She whispered slowly, letting the words linger like petals falling through air. And in that softness, the desert, the village, the world, drifted closer to calm. She paused for a long moment, looking up at the moon now high in the sky. Its silver light poured over her like water, pooling around her feet and flowing across the stones. She let her hands rest on her lap, still and quiet. There was no hurry here, no need for words beyond the breath of the night. In the hush of this moment, the moon priestess was the heart of calm, and the night was her gentle rhythm. As she knelt once more, a small figure appeared at the edge of the circle, a child from the village, still rubbing sleep from their eyes. The moon priestess smiled softly, not with laughter but with quiet recognition. She gestured and the child felt safe, feeling the soft pull of her presence. Together they watched the stars, the moon, the slow dance of sand and shadow. The child's breath grew even, matching the rhythm of the night, matching the calm of the moon above. She whispered again, gently, softly, guiding the child's gaze to the moon's gentle glow.
Rest, the night seemed to say.
You are held. You are safe. You are part of the cycle, the rhythm, the quiet turning of life. And in that whisper, even unspoken, the desert seemed to sigh. Every grain of sand, every leaf, every star trembled softly with the assurance of peace. Hours passed gently. The moon arched across the sky, a slow, patient watch over the sleeping earth. The moon priestess moved with the quiet motion of tides, touching each shadow, marking each star, letting each breath remind the world that all things return to calm. The fire at her feet flickered low. The water in her bowl reflected the shifting light, and the desert listened. At last, she rose fully, stretching slowly, limbs soft and unhurried. She looked once more at the village below, sleeping peacefully. She raised her hands, palms open to the sky, and let the moonlight pour over her in a quiet blessing. A single, gentle hum left her lips, carried on the wind, brushing across the sand and into every corner of the desert. The stars held their soft vigil as she stepped down from the hill. Her lantern glowed faintly, guiding her path. Yet even as she walked back to the village, the memory of her presence lingered, like a warm blanket, like a soft sigh. The desert seemed deeper, calmer, more serene, and in that stillness, the moon priestess had left a quiet truth. That night, and all who rested within it, were safe. Let us drift onward, carried by her gentle rhythm. Let the moon guide us, the stars cradle us, and the soft desert winds carry every thought to calm. Now rest, as the stars return, and the world folds quietly beneath the silver light. Soft winds stir the reeds along the edge of a quiet spring. Moonlight touches the water, spilling like silver across smooth stones. The air carries the scent of wet earth and soft moss, and the gentle hum of night insects rises like a lullaby. Here, in the hidden heart of the forest, the temple waits, cradled by trees and shadow. A narrow path leads to the sacred spring, lined with lanterns whose flames flicker gently, as if breathing. Each lantern seems alive, a small heartbeat in the hush of night. You float along this path, guided not by haste but by the quiet pulse of the world around you. Every step sinks softly into moss and earth, and the gentle murmur of water draws you closer. At the water's edge, a woman kneels. She is the keeper of the spring, the priestess of hidden waters. Her robe is pale as mist, brushing the stones with each movement. Her hair catches the moonlight, flowing like dark water over her shoulders. She dips her hands into the spring and lets the cool liquid slide through her fingers. The water ripples, reflecting not only her face but the soft, hidden corners of her soul. She whispers to the spring, her voice soft and low, carrying secrets across the water. Each word is a ripple, gentle and steady, touching every stone, leaf, and creature nearby. The trees lean slightly toward her, and the reeds sway in quiet response. Even the night itself seems to listen, bending its breath around her presence. From the spring rises a soft mist, curling like fingers across the stones. It glows faintly in the moonlight, as if the water itself holds memory. Here, women had come for centuries to purify, to release, to seek the quiet guidance that only hidden waters can give. The ritual is not hurried. It is a slow conversation between spirit and nature, between water and heart. The priestess kneels once more, filling a small bowl with water. She holds it to her lips, then lets a few drops fall into the spring. The splash is soft, a quiet punctuation in the night. Each droplet seems to hum, carrying blessings outward, reaching creatures and villagers alike. You feel the calm that spreads across the air, a gentle settling of thoughts, like feathers drifting down to rest. She stands and begins to walk along the spring's edge, her fingers brushing the surface of the water. The reflection shifts with each touch, showing not just the face she carries in the world, but glimpses of her dreams, her fears, her hidden joys. The water mirrors the soul, quietly and without judgment. You drift closer, sensing the depth of what cannot be seen but can be felt. A soft drum sounds in the distance, slow and steady, like the heartbeat of the forest. The priestess responds with her own movement, swaying gently, tracing circles in the air above the water. Her gestures are unhurried, deliberate, and meditative. Each circle seems to open a window into a quiet understanding, a gentle reminder that time here is measured by reflection and calm, not by urgency. From the mist, small lights appear. Fireflies, perhaps, or spirits of the water itself. They hover around her, weaving through her hair, dancing on the surface of the spring. Their glow is delicate, illuminating the priestess and the water with soft pulses of gold and green. The night embraces them all, holding the glow as part of its quiet rhythm. She kneels again, and the water responds. It seems to ripple with memory, showing visions of past rituals, past seekers who came to the spring. Each vision is calm, a soft wave of light and shadow. You float along these reflections, feeling a connection to the generations of women who tended the waters, who listened to the whispers of the night, who gave themselves to the cycle of reflection and guidance. The priestess raises her hands, letting the water flow between them, catching droplets in the moonlight. Each drop is a tiny mirror, a prism of quiet understanding. The trees lean closer, the reeds bend toward her, and the wind carries her soft hum through the temple. It is a hymn without words, a song of the night, the water, and the soul. Along the spring, small steps appear. Other women, cloaked in soft robes, joining her in silent reverence. They kneel, dipping their hands into the water, letting the spring wash over their palms and faces. Their eyes close as they feel the coolness, the calm, the slow unfolding of presence. Here, purification is not frantic. It is a gentle acknowledgement of the self and the world, a soft conversation between water and spirit. The priestess moves between them, her hands brushing their hair, tracing a line across their shoulders. The gestures are gentle, almost imperceptible, yet full of intention. Each touch reminds them to breathe slowly, to let their thoughts settle, to notice the small beauty in every ripple, every leaf, every flicker of light. You feel yourself drifting with them, carried by the rhythm of the water, the ritual, and the night. The moon begins its slow arc across the sky, casting a path of silver light along the surface of the spring. The priestess lifts her gaze, letting the reflection of moon and water fill her vision. She sees beyond herself, beyond the women beside her, beyond the temple walls. She sees the quiet mysteries that the water holds, the unseen currents that guide life, and she hums a soft, steady note. The sound drifts outward, brushing the reeds, the trees, the distant hills. From the water, faint mist rises once more, curling and twisting like soft fingers toward the sky. It carries scent, movement, and the memory of rituals long past. Each swirl seems to pulse with calm, as though the water itself exhales a gentle sigh. The women kneel with their hands in the water, feeling the coolness seep into their palms, their hearts, their thoughts. They let it carry away tension, leaving only quiet presence and soft awareness. She gathers the women near the edge of the spring, their faces reflecting moonlight and water. Together, they form a circle, their hands lightly touching the surface. The ripples move outward in concentric rings, a slow, meditative dance. You feel the calm expand with each wave, reaching outward to touch everything under the sky. Each movement is deliberate, yet gentle, like the slow turning of a wheel, quiet and eternal. The priestess kneels once more, letting the water pool in her hands. She brings it to her lips and whispers a soft blessing. The words float outward, carried on the cool breeze touching the reeds, the trees, and the sleeping village beyond the forest. The night listens in silence, holding every note as a precious breath. Minutes drift like soft clouds. The water shimmers under the moon, reflecting stars, leaves, and the gentle faces of the women gathered around it. The ritual slows, not because it is ending, but because it is perfect in its stillness. The priestess lets her hands rest in the water, feeling its pulse, feeling the quiet exchange between self and world. Finally, she rises, brushing her palms across her robes, letting droplets fall back into the spring. The fireflies flicker once more, guiding her back along the path through the reeds and lanterns. The women follow slowly, their steps light, carrying the calm with them. The temple of the hidden waters fades behind them, but its reflection lingers in the mind, like a memory of deep rest. Soft winds carry the night onward. You float along the path of silver moonlight, the water's rhythm in your chest, the whispers of the priestess in your ears. Let the calm of the spring settle into your being. Let every thought drift gently, like leaves on a slow current. Now rest as the waters return to stillness. Let the soft breath of the temple, the quiet shimmer of the moon, and the gentle rhythm of hidden waters cradle you. Let us drift onward, deeper into the night, as the stars watch silently and the world folds into quiet peace. The evening sky stretched wide above the quiet village, soft clouds drifting across the fading light. A gentle wind whispered through the trees, carrying the faint scent of flowers and warm earth. The horizon glowed with the last touch of sun, a slow fade of pink and gold melting into twilight. You float along a narrow path, the grass brushing your fingers, the world settling into stillness around you. In the heart of a quiet valley, there stood a small round hut, its walls woven of reeds and straw, glowing faintly from candlelight inside. Smoke curled softly from the chimney, mingling with the scent of herbs and warm wood. Here, a woman sat at a loom, her hands moving with calm, measured grace. She was the weaver of fate, and the threads she guided were more than yarn. They were the delicate patterns of life itself. Her movements were slow, deliberate, and gentle. The shuttle passed through the threads with a soft whisper, each knot a story, each loop a moment in time. Light from the candles flickered across her face, tracing the curve of her cheek, the calm in her eyes. Around her the threads stretched and shifted, forming shapes that only she could read, patterns of dreams and choices, of journeys taken and paths yet to come. You drift closer, carried by the quiet rhythm of her weaving. The threads shimmer faintly, pale as dawn, glowing softly as they twist and cross. Each thread seems alive, pulsing with a gentle energy, a quiet heartbeat that mirrors the slow, steady pace of the world outside. Her hands move in a dance older than memory, weaving light into shadow, hope into patience, calm into each fold of life. The loom creaks softly with each pass, a sound like the gentle sigh of wind through reeds. You feel the rhythm settle in your chest, a slow, even pulse that carries away tension and thought. The weaver hums quietly, a soft melody that rises and falls like the tide. Her voice does not carry words you can hear, but the song is a balm, a gentle guide to rest and reflection. She lifts a thread, watching it carefully as it twists in her fingers. It represents a young life, full of hope and quiet dreams. With each pass of the shuttle, she knits experience into it, weaving gentle lessons, soft guidance, and the warmth of unseen hands. You watch the thread curve and fold, following the subtle paths she creates, and feel a deep, soothing calm. Around her, the hut seems to breathe softly, holding every shadow, every flicker of candlelight. Outside, the wind sways branches against the walls, carrying the hush of the valley into the quiet of the loom room. The threads shimmer faintly in the soft light, reflecting not only the room but the subtle flow of life beyond, the unseen connections between hearts and homes, between dreams and waking. She pauses for a moment, lifting her gaze to a small window. Moonlight spills in, silver and gentle, pooling across the woven threads. The glow makes the patterns shimmer, revealing glimpses of distant hills, flowing rivers, and sleeping villages. She hums again, softly, letting her hands follow the motion of the threads like a slow, mindful breath. Each pass of the shuttle reminds the world outside of quiet order, gentle timing, and calm rhythm. A small bell chimes faintly from the doorway, announcing a visitor. A child from the village enters, soft-footed, eyes wide with wonder. The weaver smiles, not with laughter, but with warmth and recognition. She lifts a hand, and the child moves closer, drawn by the steady, calm energy that fills the room. Together, they watch the threads twist and fold, understanding not in words, but in presence. The child reaches out to touch a thread, and the weaver guides the movement softly. Every life, she seems to whisper, though no words are heard, is a thread, delicate and strong, shaped by gentle hands and quiet patience. The threads bend slightly under her touch, shimmering, reflecting not only the present but possibilities and choices yet unseen. The room fills with a soft, golden light as candles flicker, dancing shadows across the walls. You notice the faint scent of herbs carried on the wind, a quiet trace of lavender and sage that soothes the mind. The weaver hums again, her melody wrapping around the threads, weaving calm into the fabric of night. You float along with the rhythm, each note settling deeper into your chest, each pass of the shuttle a slow exhale. Beyond the hut, the village sleeps. Soft lights from windows glow like distant stars. The weaver's hands move steadily, tracing paths that reach unseen places, guiding not with force, but with gentle care. A young woman's dreams twist through the threads, carrying hope and quiet courage. An elder's memory weaves softly beside it, full of reflection and grace. Each knot, each fold, is a quiet blessing, a reminder of the patience that life requires, the calm that grows in stillness. You watch as she lifts a thread representing the long, winding journey of a traveler. It bends, loops, and folds through other threads, connecting with unseen lives, subtle and soft. She guides it gently, letting it find its own way while supporting its strength, holding its shape with patience and care. The room feels larger with each motion, filled with the quiet presence of all the lives she touches, the calm that spreads outward like waves on a still pond. The weaver pauses and leans back slightly, letting her hands hover over the threads. She hums a slow, steady note, listening to the rhythm of the threads themselves. The patterns shimmer, reflecting the moonlight through the window. You feel the threads' calm reach into you, smoothing the edges of thought, softening the mind, and settling every worry into quiet reflection. A soft wind drifts through the window, brushing against the weaver's hair, moving the threads slightly as if to remind them of the world beyond the hut. She lifts her hands, letting the threads sway and settle back, returning to their gentle order. The child watches, fascinated by the slow meditative flow, learning without words the art of patience, of gentle guidance, of the quiet strength that lies in weaving life with care. The candle flames flicker, shadows dancing across the walls in slow arcs. The weaver guides the threads with a rhythm that mirrors the heartbeat of the night itself. Steady, calm, unhurried. You float along, carried by this rhythm, feeling your thoughts unwind, your mind softening with each gentle pass of the shuttle. The threads move like rivers in moonlight, like paths of quiet destiny, always flowing, always guided by gentle hands. Hours pass softly. The moon arcs across the sky, silver light spilling across the hut and valley. The weaver lifts her gaze one last time, letting her hands rest on the threads, feeling the balance she has created, the calm she has nurtured. The threads shimmer with stories of lives touched, paths guided, and quiet lessons given. The hum of her presence continues, a gentle lullaby for all who rest beyond the walls. Finally she rises, stretching slowly, limbs soft and unhurried. The child follows, both of them bathed in the glow of candlelight and moonlight. Together, they step outside into the night, letting the thread's energy remain behind, a quiet blessing for all who sleep. The stars twinkle softly above, The wind moves gently through the valley, and the world feels at peace. Let us drift onward, carried by the rhythm of the loom, the shimmer of the threads, and the soft heartbeat of the night. Let the calm of the weaver's hand settle into your own, letting every thought float gently away. Now rest as the stars return, and the threads of life weave quietly in the world around you. Night drifts softly over the hills, and the sky deepens into shades of indigo. Stars appear, blinking slowly as if in quiet conversation with the earth below. A faint wind stirs, carrying the scent of pine and warm earth. You float along a narrow path that leads toward a circle of soft flames, glowing faintly in the hush of the forest. The firelight dances gently, casting long shadows across the trees. Each flicker moves like a slow, deliberate wave, revealing shapes of stone and leaf, then letting them fade into quiet darkness. In the center of the circle stands a woman, her robe catching the glow of the flames. She is the fire keeper, guardian of warmth and light, tending an eternal fire that has burned through countless nights. Her hands hover over the flames, moving with calm precision. Sparks lift and drift like tiny stars, carried upward by the night air. She whispers softly, her voice merging with the gentle crackle of the fire. You feel the warmth reach beyond her hands, filling the circle, the trees, and your own chest with a soft, steady calm. The firekeeper walks slowly around the circle, each step measured, each breath deliberate. The flames respond, leaning into her presence, glowing brighter yet never harshly. They reflect the quiet patience in her eyes, the soft rhythm of her spirit. Every movement is a meditation, a gentle dance of guidance and reassurance. You drift closer, drawn by the glow, and notice small offerings laid carefully on stones around the circle. Herbs, smooth pebbles, and candles. Each is a quiet prayer, a note of respect to the eternal fire. She pauses to touch one, letting its energy mingle with the flames, and the fire swirls softly in response, as if recognizing the gentle care given. The forest around you listens in silence. Leaves sway lightly, casting faint shadows on the ground, and the distant sound of water trickling from a hidden stream mingles with the soft murmur of the fire. You feel the night hold its breath, giving space for the firekeeper's calm, steady energy to ripple outward. Each flicker of light, each crackle of the flame, seems to carry a story of protection and warmth. She kneels, letting her hands hover just above the flames. Sparks rise and fade slowly, like fireflies drifting toward the stars. The firekeeper hums a soft melody, low and even, that travels beyond the circle. You feel it brushing across your thoughts, softening edges, untangling tension, and wrapping your mind in quiet stillness. From the fire, she pulls a small ember carefully into a bronze bowl. It glows gently, steady and warm, a tiny sun in her hands. She passes it slowly around the circle, letting its heat touch each visitor who arrives seeking counsel. You sense their hearts quieting, their breath slowing, and their thoughts drifting like leaves on water. Here, warmth is not only of hearth, but of spirit, comforting and unhurried. The firekeeper rises, her robe brushing softly across the ground. She moves toward a small stone altar beside the flames. On it lies a simple vessel of water, still and reflective. She dips her fingers into the water, then lets a few drops fall into the fire. The steam rises in gentle clouds, carrying a faint scent of smoke and earth. It swirls slowly, wrapping the circle in a delicate veil of warmth and calm. You float along the edge of the circle, watching as the flames respond to her presence. They twist gently, moving in soft arcs like slow breathing, revealing the contours of the forest, the smoothness of stones, and the quiet faces of those gathered. Every flicker is deliberate, every shadow a gentle brush against the night, inviting rest and reflection. She sits once more, crossing her legs near the fire. Her hands hover just above the embers, tracing circles in the air, weaving warmth and attention together. Sparks drift upward like slow golden rain. She murmurs softly, a song without words, letting each note echo across the clearing. It is a lullaby for the earth, the trees, and the sleeping hearts nearby. The people around the circle watch quietly. Some close their eyes, letting the fire's rhythm guide their thoughts. Others trace the flames with their fingers, feeling the warmth travel up their arms, into their hearts, and through their minds. You drift with them, carried by the gentle hum of the firekeeper and the soft dance of light. Above, the stars pulse faintly, mirrored in the shimmer of the flames. The firekeeper lifts her gaze, letting the night sky reflect in her eyes. Each star seems to nod, acknowledging the quiet work of her hands. She guides the flames slowly, carefully, letting them speak the unspoken language of calm, protection, and care. A small child approaches from the shadows, drawn by the warmth. The firekeeper smiles softly, motioning the child closer. The ember in the bowl is passed gently, held between small hands and the steady warmth of the fire. The child breathes in, letting the calm seep into their chest, feeling the steady presence of the firekeeper settle like a soft blanket around their shoulders. The flames rise and fall with a rhythm that matches the slow, steady heartbeat of the night. You feel your own pulse slow, softening into the same pattern, your thoughts drifting like sparks into the dark. Each flicker is a quiet reminder of presence, patience, and gentle guidance. The firekeeper stands again, her silhouette framed by the circle of light. She moves gracefully around the flames, her hands brushing lightly across the air. The fire twists in response, soft and fluid, a mirror of her care. Shadows bend gently around the circle, and even the wind seems to soften as it passes. She kneels once more, letting her hands hover above the embers. Sparks rise and fall in slow arcs, and you notice the subtle warmth brushing your face, your hands, your chest. It is a warmth that travels beyond the body, reaching the mind and heart, carrying away tension and leaving only calm, steady presence. Minutes drift by in slow waves. The firekeeper dips her hands once more into the bronze bowl of ember, letting light spill across the circle. The people around her breathe evenly, lulled by the rhythm of the flames, the hush of the forest, and the soft, low song of the firekeeper's hum. You drift with them, carried into quiet reflection, carried into the slow, gentle heartbeat of the night. Finally, she rises fully, letting the embers rest in the center of the circle. The fire burns steadily, glowing soft and warm, a constant companion in the darkness. She steps lightly along the edge of the circle, motioning for those gathered to feel the calm and leave with hearts quieted, thoughts softened, and spirits soothed. The night folds gently around the circle. Sparks drift upward like tiny stars. The wind whispers softly, and the fire burns with steady warmth. You feel the presence of the firekeeper linger, a soft hand on the mind, a gentle pulse in the chest, a reminder that light, warmth, and calm exist even in the quietest hours. Let us drift onward, carried by the flicker of flames, the gentle hum of the forest, and the steady warmth of the firekeeper. Let your thoughts settle like embers falling softly into dark sand. Now rest, as the stars return, and the night holds you gently in its arms. The night sky stretches endlessly, a velvet canopy sprinkled with silver light. Stars shimmer softly, each one a quiet pulse in the vast darkness. The air is cool and still, carrying the scent of distant blooms and gentle earth. You float along a winding path soft underfoot, lined with pale flowers that sway slightly in the faint breeze. Each step brings you closer to a temple of quiet wonder, hidden beneath the folds of the night. At the temple's edge, moonlight spills across smooth stone, tracing gentle curves of arches and domes. The walls are carved with subtle patterns of stars, spirals, and flowing lines, echoing the sky above. Lanterns hang softly from the eaves, their flames small and steady, flickering like the heartbeat of the world itself. You drift inside, guided by the soft glow, feeling the hush of night wrap around you. Within the temple, a woman stands beneath a vast dome of painted constellations. She is the star goddess, or perhaps her priestess, guardian of celestial secrets. Her robe catches the silver light, flowing like moonbeams around her ankles. Her hands move gently through the air, tracing paths among the stars, connecting them with threads of quiet light. Every gesture feels deliberate yet soft, as though time itself has slowed to match her rhythm. You watch as she lifts a delicate crystal, letting it catch the candlelight. The prism scatters tiny rainbows across the walls, painting the room with soft colors that shimmer like distant galaxies. She hums a gentle tune, low and even, that carries across the temple and blends seamlessly with the faint rustle of the night outside. Each note seems to reach upward, brushing the stars above, letting their light fold gently into the room. Her fingers hover above an ancient map of the heavens, etched into smooth stone. Lines and dots trace the constellations, each one representing not only a star, but a story, a soul, a quiet hope. The priestess touches the lines lightly, and faint light flows along them, tracing gentle arcs across the table. You feel the pull of the sky, its vastness folded into soft meditative patterns that invite rest and reflection. Around her, small candles flicker like tiny suns. Their glow reflects in her eyes, calm and steady, as if she carries the rhythm of the cosmos within her. The temple is filled with the hush of reverence, the gentle breath of the universe, and the quiet awareness of countless nights spent mapping the stars and whispering to the heavens. You drift with the light, following each flicker, each soft curve of shadow, feeling the night settle around your thoughts. She lifts a small bowl filled with water, smooth and still like a mirror. Holding it beneath the light of a candle, she lets the star's reflection mingle with her own. Tiny ripples shimmer across the surface as she whispers to the water, a song without words. It carries through the temple, gentle as the night breeze, reaching into hidden corners and brushing softly against the mind. From the edges of the temple, faint figures move, women cloaked in flowing robes. They kneel beside low stone altars, tracing patterns in the dust, in sand, in water. Their hands move slowly, deliberately, following the guidance of the priestess above. Each gesture is soft, a silent conversation with the stars. You drift among them, carried by the slow, unhurried rhythm, sensing the gentle weaving of energy, light, and calm. The priestess bends over a celestial globe, letting her hands hover just above its surface. Slowly, she traces the path of a comet, its movement through the night sky mirrored in the gentle arc of her fingers. You notice the calm it brings, the quiet understanding that all things move in patterns, guided by gentle hands, and that even the smallest light has a place in the vastness. A soft wind stirs through open windows, carrying the faint rustle of leaves from the world outside. The priestess does not speak, yet her presence hums across the room, steady and nurturing. The women around her follow the rhythm of her hands, tracing constellations in sand, letting their fingers move with patience and care. You drift with them, every heartbeat slowed, every thought softening like petals in the night. Above, the dome glows faintly, stars painted in pale silver and soft gold. The priestess lifts a prism once more, catching candlelight and scattering it across the room. The patterns shift slowly, reflecting off walls, water, and faces, like fragments of distant galaxies folded into the temple. Each flicker is deliberate, a gentle reminder of presence, of calm, and of the quiet order of the night. She kneels beside the water bowl again, letting her hands hover just above the surface. Tiny ripples expand outward, mingling with the reflection of stars. It is a soft meditation, a slow unfolding of stillness, as if the universe itself breathes through the movements of her hands. You feel the gentle rhythm settle into your chest, a quiet pulse that carries your thoughts outward, leaving only calm and awareness. The women around her rise slowly, moving toward the walls and windows, their hands tracing constellations in the air, on surfaces, in water. They follow the priestess's lead, not hurriedly, but with patience and grace. Each motion is deliberate, yet soft, a meditation made visible, a lullaby in movement, a quiet song that echoes the night sky above. The priestess lifts her gaze to the stars through a small open window. The heavens seem to bend slightly, as if listening to her whispers. She hums, low and steady, a melody carried across the valley outside. You float with it, each note brushing the mind and heart, softening the edges of thought, letting the quiet of night fold gently into your being. She moves back toward the center of the temple, letting her hands trace gentle arcs across the air. Sparks of reflected light shimmer where her fingers pass, like tiny fragments of starlight catching on dust. Each shimmer, each slow movement, guides attention inward, toward reflection and calm. You drift along with them, feeling the soft pulse of the cosmos mirrored in your chest, in your thoughts, and in the gentle rhythm of your breathing. Minutes pass like soft waves. The temple glows with candlelight, moonlight, and starlight all folded together. The priestess lifts the bowl of water once more, letting a few drops fall onto the stone floor. Steam rises gently, carrying faint fragrances of night blooms and soft earth. You feel the quiet wrap around you like a blanket, settling your mind into calm, steady stillness. Finally, the priestess rises fully, letting her hands rest at her sides. The women kneel, bow, and drift toward the edges of the temple, carrying the calm with them. The stars above twinkle faintly. The moon casts a silver path across the floor, and the night holds every flicker, every whisper, every gentle breath in perfect stillness. Let us drift onward, carried by the shimmer of stars, the hush of the temple, and the gentle guidance of the priestess. Let every thought float softly like petals on a midnight breeze. Now rest as the stars return, and the night enfolds you in its quiet, eternal embrace. Twilight lingers softly over the forest, turning leaves into gentle shadows, and gold into fading amber. The air is cool, carrying the quiet scent of moss and soft earth. You drift along a winding path, your steps light, guided by the hush of ancient trees. Their trunks rise like silent guardians, strong and still, and the branches sway gently, brushing against the evening breeze. Ahead a clearing opens. Light spills faintly from lanterns hung among the trees, swinging softly with the wind. The glow falls upon figures kneeling and sitting upon moss-covered stones, their presence quiet yet steady. They are women of the grove, tending both the earth and the spirit. Their chants rise softly, weaving through the branches, mingling with the rustle of leaves and the distant call of night birds. The songs are slow, gentle, each note a breath in the rhythm of the grove. You feel it move through the air, brushing lightly against your skin, softening your thoughts. Each voice carries a warmth, a calm that reaches deep into the heart of the forest. The trees themselves seem to lean closer, their leaves trembling slightly in harmony with the melody. One woman stands near a small spring, water flowing steadily over smooth stones. Her hands hover just above the surface, tracing gentle patterns in the air. The water ripples in response, reflecting lantern light in delicate waves. She hums quietly, letting the sound drift over the earth, over the roots and stones, into the soil beneath. You float nearer, feeling the vibration settle within, a soothing pulse that mirrors your own breath. Around the clearing, other women move slowly, tending small gardens and sacred offerings. Petals, herbs, and stones are arranged with care, each placement a quiet meditation, a lullaby to the earth. Their movements are fluid, unhurried, a dance of devotion intertwined with the natural rhythm of the grove. The air carries the faint aroma of lavender, thyme, and soft moss, calming the mind and guiding thoughts into gentle stillness. A soft drum begins, low and distant, barely more than a heartbeat. It blends seamlessly with the songs, grounding the music and connecting it to the pulse of the earth. You feel your own heartbeat slow to match, each breath deepening, each exhale soft and unhurried. The grove holds you, cradles you, as if it knows the gentle journey you are taking into quiet reflection. The woman at the spring dips her fingers into the water, letting droplets fall onto smooth stones. Tiny ripples spread outward, carrying the soft resonance of her hum. Each wave moves slowly, brushing against leaves and roots, mingling with the soft wind. You drift along these ripples, feeling them untangle tension, smoothing the edges of thought, letting calm fill every corner of your mind. From the shadows, a faint glow appears, tiny lanterns carried by others approaching the circle. They place them carefully, letting light mingle with shadow, creating patterns that shift slowly as the branches sway. The women join together, their voices harmonizing, low and even, weaving the songs into a tapestry of gentle sound. You feel the warmth of connection, not loud or urgent, but soft and steady, as if the forest itself has learned to breathe in time with the chant. Above, the canopy opens slightly, revealing stars twinkling through the leaves. The songs seem to reach upward, brushing the sky, carrying calm and intention into the vast expanse. Each star reflects faintly in the eyes of the women, mirroring the devotion in their hands, in the songs, and in the gentle rhythm of the grove. You float along with the music, letting the calm settle into your chest, your shoulders, your mind. One woman lifts a small bowl of earth, rich and dark, letting her fingers trace patterns in its surface. She hums softly, and the soil seems to respond, small particles drifting lightly, caught in the lantern light. The music bends around her gestures, following the curves of her hands, filling the grove with gentle, meditative motion. You drift closer, feeling the rhythm of creation, the slow unfolding of care and attention that nurtures both earth and spirit. The wind stirs the branches above, carrying the scents of flowers and soft rain from distant clouds. The women respond, moving slowly, letting the leaves brush their hands, letting the wind mingle with their voices. Each note is deliberate yet tender, a gentle meditation that carries across the grove. You feel each one fold into your mind, softening thoughts, quieting worries, and guiding the spirit toward rest. A child from the nearby village steps softly into the clearing, drawn by the calm. One of the women bends, offering a quiet smile, and invites the child closer. Together they trace patterns in the soil and water, following the gentle songs, learning without words the art of quiet attention and patient care. You watch, floating in the hush, feeling the soothing pulse of life move slowly through the grove and into your own being. The drum beats continue, low and steady, like a heartbeat shared by all living things in the grove. The chants rise and fall in a soft rhythm, carrying the gentle energy outward, touching tree and stone, water and earth. Lanterns sway gently, casting shadows that move slowly across the moss, tracing the contours of the grove with light and dark. Each flicker is a calm reminder of presence, of stillness, of the soft power of devotion. The woman at the spring dips her hands once more, letting water fall in slow arcs. Tiny droplets sparkle in the lantern glow, each one reflecting the quiet stars above. She hums a final, lingering note, letting it ripple through the grove, across the branches, and into the soil. The music settles, a soft echo that holds the space in calm, steady presence. You feel the resonance reach deep into your chest, a gentle warmth that spreads slowly, inviting rest. Minutes drift like soft leaves on a slow stream. The women sit quietly, their hands folded, their eyes reflecting lanterns and stars alike. The air is still, carrying only the soft rustle of leaves and the distant hum of life beyond the grove. You float within the calm, carried by the rhythm of the earth, the slow cadence of breath, and the gentle lullabies that have tended this sanctuary for countless nights. Finally, the women rise, moving slowly to the edges of the grove. The lanterns are lowered carefully, their light dimming to a soft glow. The wind carries the last notes of their song, brushing across leaves, water, and moss, leaving a gentle echo of devotion and peace. You drift along with it, letting the calm settle fully, your mind softened, your body ready to rest. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft rustle of leaves, the lullabies of the grove, and the gentle presence of devotion. Let your thoughts float gently like petals on a quiet stream. Now rest as the stars return, and the night enfolds you in its timeless, peaceful embrace. Night settles gently over the valley, soft and still, like a dark velvet drape pulled across the earth. The stars peek quietly through thin clouds, their light trembling with gentle rhythm. A faint wind moves through the reeds by a small stream, carrying the scent of wet earth and distant flowers. You float along a winding path, guided by the hush of the night, and find yourself at the entrance to a quiet sanctuary, tucked between ancient stones and creeping ivy. A soft glow emanates from within. The sanctuary is simple, yet sacred, carved into the side of a small hill and sheltered by overhanging branches. Lanterns hang from low beams, flickering with tiny flames, casting patterns of light and shadow that ripple across the stone walls. The air is warm, yet gentle, carrying the faint hiss of water dripping slowly into a moss-covered basin. In the center of the sanctuary, a woman kneels beside a coiled serpent, its scales catching the lantern light in faint glimmers. She is the serpent oracle, keeper of quiet wisdom and hidden truths. Her hands move slowly over the smooth stone around her, tracing gentle patterns in the dust. Every gesture is deliberate yet soft, as if she is drawing the path of thought itself. The serpent moves in a sinuous rhythm, coiling and uncoiling with patient grace. It is not threatening, but protective, a companion to the oracle's presence. Its eyes glimmer like polished stones, reflecting the calm in her gaze. You feel the rhythm of its movement resonate within the sanctuary, slow and deliberate, a mirror of the patient heartbeat of wisdom itself. The oracle whispers softly, her voice blending with the faint hiss of the serpent and the dripping water. Words drift across the sanctuary, carrying a sense of quiet understanding, gentle guidance that flows like water over smooth stones. Each whisper feels like a soft wind brushing against the mind, untangling thoughts and inviting rest around her, Small offerings lie on the stone floor. Shells, feathers, and small carvings, each placed with care. She touches them lightly, and the serpent coils around her hand briefly, as if acknowledging the intent of each gift. The glow of lanterns flickers in response, casting long flowing shadows that rise and fall like soft waves. You drift along with these movements, feeling the quiet pulse of protection and guidance fill the air. The oracle lifts her gaze to a small pool of still water at her side. She dips her fingers into its surface, sending tiny ripples across the mirror-like reflection. The serpent's head hovers over the water, watching, patient and calm. The ripple spreads outward, touching the stones and lantern light, and you feel the movement flow gently through your own chest, a quiet settling of thoughts. Her fingers trace patterns along the stone basin, each movement slow and deliberate. The serpent coils around these motions, its body following the curves with perfect patience. You feel the flow of time slow here, each breath lengthening, each heartbeat softening. This is a place of quiet transformation, where truths are revealed softly, without urgency, and wisdom flows like a gentle stream. A faint breeze enters the sanctuary through an opening in the stones, carrying the scent of jasmine and damp moss. The oracle lifts a small crystal to catch the lantern light, scattering tiny reflections across the walls. The serpent moves in response, gliding over the stone, tracing the reflected light, following paths that seem invisible yet deeply known. You drift with it, carried by the rhythm of light, movement, and patient presence. The oracle hums softly, a low, steady sound that vibrates through the stones beneath you. The serpent's body undulates in harmony, a slow, measured wave of energy that echoes the calm pulse of the sanctuary. Each note, each movement, carries quiet protection, a soft assurance that every secret held here is safe. Every thought can be unfolded gently. You notice the way the oracle's hands trace invisible lines above the serpent's coils, and the way each gesture seems to illuminate hidden paths within the mind. This is the magic of patience, the gentle revelation that comes not through force, but through stillness and attention. You feel the soft opening of understanding, a quiet knowing that drifts through your chest like a gentle river. A small bird flutters near the entrance, perching quietly on a low branch. The oracle pauses, watching it with a soft smile. The serpent follows her gaze, and the bird remains still, as if part of the rhythm of the sanctuary. Tiny movements, subtle gestures, the whisper of wind and the glow of lanterns, all blend together into a slow, meditative dance. You float along with it, each step and motion softening your mind, releasing tension and inviting calm. The oracle dips her fingers once more into the pool, letting the water drip slowly over the stones. The serpent coils around her arm, still and calm, a living symbol of patient protection. You feel the echo of the water's fall ripple through your chest, a soft pulse that mirrors the slow rise and fall of your own breath. Each drop is a gentle reminder of presence, of quiet wisdom, and of gentle transformation. She rises slowly, moving around the sanctuary with hands tracing the air in soft arcs. Lantern light reflects in her eyes, steady and warm, carrying the calm of countless nights spent listening, observing, and guiding. The serpent follows, gliding across the stones, its movements deliberate and unhurried. The sanctuary hums with quiet life, soft and protective, carrying peace into every shadowed corner. Minutes pass like soft waves. The whisper of the oracle, the slow undulation of the serpent, and the faint dripping of water all combine into a meditative rhythm. You float within it, feeling your mind settle, your chest soften, and your thoughts drift like mist. Each breath matches the rhythm of the sanctuary, slow and gentle, carrying you toward deeper rest. The oracle kneels again, letting her hands hover above the serpent and the stones. Sparks of lantern light reflect on the water, flickering softly across the walls. She hums a final note, lingering and low, letting it ripple through the sanctuary, through the branches outside, and into the stillness of the night. You feel the resonance reach deep into your body, a quiet warmth that spreads slowly, inviting complete calm. Finally, she steps back, letting the serpent coil peacefully at her side. The lanterns glow softly, the water rests quietly, and the sanctuary holds the echo of calm. You drift with it, carried by the soft rhythm of protection, wisdom, and patient guidance. The night outside sighs gently, brushing leaves against stone, carrying the quiet pulse of life and reflection. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle coil of the serpent, the soft hum of the oracle, and the quiet rhythm of the sanctuary. Let every thought float slowly, like a leaf on still water. Now rest as the stars return, and the night enfolds you in its protective, peaceful embrace. The night is still, soft and hushed, and the moon casts a gentle glow across the landscape. Its silver light touches the tops of distant trees, glimmers on quiet waters, and spills across the entrance of a grand temple. You float slowly forward, guided by the gentle hush of the evening. Each step is light, each breath calm, carrying you closer to the sanctuary within. The temple stands tall, its stone walls bathed in moonlight, cool and luminous. Shadows stretch and bend with the curves of each pillar, telling quiet stories of devotion, patience, and quiet strength. You enter softly, feeling the air shift, cool and calm, carrying faint whispers of incense and the faint echo of distant chanting. The space is open and still, yet full of presence, as though every corner holds a gentle memory of those who have walked here before. Along the marble floor, soft reflections ripple with the flicker of lanterns, each one casting gentle golden pools of light. Statues of women line the halls, their forms serene, their eyes calm and steady. Each face tells of compassion and wisdom, of soft guidance and quiet grace. You drift past them slowly, feeling the warmth of devotion lingering in the air, settling lightly on your shoulders and in your chest. The pillars rise like sentinels, smooth and elegant, each one adorned with delicate carvings of flowers, stars, and flowing water. Their patterns tell stories without words, of women who healed, who guided, who whispered the prayers of countless souls. You trace the carvings with your gaze, letting your mind move with the flow of the lines, letting each curve and swirl unwind tension and invite calm. A soft breeze enters through an open archway, carrying the scent of jasmine and night-blooming flowers. It moves along the halls, stirring the fabric of hanging tapestries and brushing lightly against your skin. Each breath you take matches the rhythm of the wind, slow and gentle, like a lullaby moving through the temple. You drift onward, feeling the temple's quiet pulse seep into your own. In the center of the hall, a fountain murmurs quietly. Water spills over smooth stones, reflecting the moonlight in delicate arcs. The sound is soft, a slow ripple that blends with the faint hum of the temple's silence. You sit near the fountain, letting its gentle music fill your mind. Each droplet is a note in a lullaby, each wave a soft brush against thought and care. The statues seem to notice you as you pass. Their gazes are steady, serene, comforting. One holds a small bowl in her hands carved with delicate stars and flowers. Another stretches her arms upward, reaching toward the sky, as if guiding souls gently toward the moon's calm glow. You float past each one, feeling the stories of patience, grace, and quiet devotion settle softly into your spirit. Soft footsteps echo in the distance, slow and measured. A woman moves through the hall, her robe brushing the stone floor like whispered wind. She carries a small lantern, its light flickering gently against the carved pillars. Each step she takes is deliberate, full of calm presence. You drift alongside her, feeling the rhythm of her movement match your own slow breathing, a quiet harmony that calms every thought. She pauses by a pillar carved with stars and flowing rivers. Her hands brush lightly over the stone, and you feel the energy of centuries of devotion ripple through the marble. The pillars are not just stone, they are memory. They are guidance. They are quiet touchstones of presence and care. You float past them, letting each one brush against the edges of your mind, softening tension, inviting stillness. The lantern she carries swings slowly, casting shadows that stretch and bend across the walls and floor. Shadows dance gently with the curve of the pillars, mingling with the moonlight that streams through high windows. Each flicker is a gentle reminder of calm, each shadow a soft echo of devotion, carrying reassurance and quiet warmth into the hall. She kneels briefly at the fountain, letting her hands skim the water's surface. Tiny ripples spread outward, reflecting lantern light and moonlight together in quiet shimmer. You drift along with the ripples, feeling them reach into your chest, softening, settling, and inviting rest. The sound is steady and unhurried, a reminder that time here is gentle, measured, and full of presence. A faint hum rises in the air, a chant from somewhere deep within the temple. The words are soft, barely audible, yet carry warmth and calm through every corner. They wrap around the pillars, around the statues, and around you, slow and deliberate, a gentle tide of sound that coaxes every thought into stillness. You drift within it, each syllable a soft brush across the mind, each pause a quiet pause in your own breath. The woman rises, moving slowly along the hall again. Her lantern reflects off a nearby statue, revealing the subtle curves of its hands and face. The figure seems almost alive, radiating calm and patience. You drift closer, noticing the way light and shadow play over stone and skin alike, weaving gentle patterns that soothe the mind and carry you further into calm. The moonlight deepens, silver spilling through arched windows high above. It touches the tops of the pillars, glimmers on the edges of the fountain, and softens the curves of statues in quiet reflection. The temple holds you, cradles you, as if every stone, every shadow, every flicker of light is part of a gentle lullaby. You float along the hall, feeling peace settle like soft mist across your chest and shoulders. Soft, distant drums begin, low and slow, blending with the hum of the water and the gentle rustle of the night wind. The sound carries through the pillars, vibrating softly in the stone, through your bones and into your chest. Each beat is a gentle heartbeat of the temple itself, a reminder that every space here is alive with calm, every corner filled with gentle care and patience. You pause again by a pillar carved with intertwining vines and flowers. The details are soft, flowing, like the rhythm of breath and thought merging into stillness. You let your gaze linger, tracing the curves and lines, letting every soft motion settle your mind. The temple guides you quietly, holding space for your rest, offering a slow, measured presence that carries away the clutter of thought. The woman moves toward the entrance, lantern swinging softly, her shadow stretching long and calm across the marble floor. She pauses, turning back once as if to whisper a gentle blessing. You feel it brush lightly across your mind, a soft invitation to drift, to let go, to rest fully within the temple's embrace. Let us drift onward, carried by the silver glow of the moon, the gentle hum of the fountain, and the soft presence of devotion. Let each pillar, each shadow, each reflection settle softly into your spirit. Now rest, as the stars return, and the temple folds you gently into its calm, timeless embrace. The forest stretches before you, bathed in the soft glow of twilight. Shadows fall lightly between the trees, and the air is cool, scented with pine and damp earth. A distant brook hums quietly, carrying the gentle sound of flowing water over smooth stones. You float along a narrow path, each step soft, each breath deep, feeling the quiet pulse of the woods settle gently into your mind. In a clearing ahead, the light softens as the last rays of sun filter through the leaves. There, moving with calm precision, is the huntress. Her presence is quiet yet unmistakable, like the brush of wind over the treetops. She carries a bow of polished wood, simple and strong, and her movements are deliberate, measured, and gentle. Each step she takes is guided by a deep connection to the earth beneath her feet. Around her, the forest seems to breathe. Leaves shift softly in the wind, birds perch quietly on branches, and the faint rustle of small creatures moving through the undergrowth forms a rhythm with her own slow heartbeat. The huntress pauses, kneeling to examine a fallen leaf or a curved stone, her eyes tracing the quiet stories held in nature's small details. You drift along, moving with her rhythm, letting the forest's calm settle into your chest. Her arrows rest lightly in a quiver across her back, not as instruments of harm, but as symbols of balance and care. Each arrow is crafted with attention, each feather aligned with patience. She draws one gently, lifting it to the sky, letting it catch the last light of day. The movement is slow, deliberate, like the tracing of thought across a quiet mind. You feel the calm intention of her actions ripple outward, soft and steady. Soft winds stir the canopy above, carrying whispers of distant bird song. The huntress breathes with the forest, her chest rising and falling in rhythm with the soft sway of branches. She moves among the trees like a shadow made of moonlight, careful not to disturb, careful to honor the space she inhabits. Each movement is a meditation, a practice of attention and respect, teaching calm through the quiet poetry of motion. You notice the way her eyes trace the paths of small animals, rabbits, deer, and birds, without tension, without rush. There's no hurry here, no strain, only a patient observation of life and balance. Her presence teaches that care can be quiet, that guidance can be gentle, and that courage is found in harmony rather than haste. You drift with her gaze, letting your mind soften like leaves touched by sunlight. A stream curves through the clearing, its water clear and calm. She kneels by its edge, letting her fingers trail along the surface, sending tiny ripples that spread slowly across the pool. You float along with these ripples, feeling them extend into your chest, releasing tension, inviting quiet. The forest itself seems to respond, the leaves whispering softly, the water reflecting the soft light of a rising moon. The huntress rises again, drawing a slow arc through the air with her bow, then lowering it with ease. Her movement carries lessons without sound, without hurry. The bow, the arrow, the forest, everything is in balance, everything is in gentle dialogue. You feel the rhythm of her motions echo in your own body, slowing your thoughts, softening your mind, inviting rest. Softly she pauses beside a moss-covered tree, brushing a hand over the bark. The touch is reverent, full of quiet acknowledgement. Tiny insects crawl slowly along the trunk, and she watches them without rush. Her presence a steady warmth in the clearing. The air carries the scent of pine resin and the faint perfume of wildflowers, blending with the soft rhythm of distant water. You drift within this harmony, letting the scent and sound settle over your shoulders, into your chest, and finally into your mind. She lifts her bow once more, this time not toward prey, but toward the sky. The arrow arcs gently in the fading light, a soft line against the pale glow of twilight. It lands harmlessly among the ferns, and she releases a slow, soft sigh that seems to blend with the gentle breeze. You feel the quietness of her heart, the stillness of her intent, and the calm precision of every movement resonate within you. Around the clearing, shadows stretch and bend with the last light. The huntress walks slowly, each footfall a measured whisper over fallen leaves. She pauses often, listening, watching, and moving only when she senses the quiet invitation of life itself. The forest holds its breath, and you hold yours, floating in the gentle rhythm of observation, of care, of respect. The moon rises fully now, silver and soft, spilling its glow across the clearing. Her eyes lift to it, and for a moment she simply stands beneath its light, bow resting gently at her side. The creatures of the forest stir softly, yet none flee, for her presence is calm and protective. You feel this calm wrap around your chest, a slow, steady warmth that moves through every thought, quieting and settling. A soft rustle of feathers draws your attention. Birds perch on low branches, their movements gentle and deliberate. The huntress acknowledges them with a soft nod, her gaze patient and kind. The rhythm of wings, of breath, of movement, and of stillness blends seamlessly. You drift with it, letting each small sound and movement guide you deeper into a quiet, peaceful calm. The stream nearby murmurs a lullaby, the water brushing over stones in soft, deliberate patterns. The huntress kneels beside it again, this time pressing a palm lightly against the surface. The ripple spreads slowly, reaching the edges of the pool, reflecting moonlight in gentle waves. You feel the same ripple pass through your own chest, softening tension, letting every thought dissolve gently like mist over the water. She rises, moving slowly toward the forest's edge. The soft rustle of her cloak blends with the whispering leaves, a quiet melody of patience and harmony. Each step she takes carries a reminder that courage need not be loud, that strength is found in calm, and that guidance is most powerful when gentle. You drift alongside her rhythm, your own breath lengthening, your thoughts becoming slow and even, your mind at ease. The night deepens, stars shimmering faintly above the treetops. The huntress stops for a final moment, bow lowered, eyes lifting to the sky. A soft smile curves her lips, a reflection of inner peace and quiet presence. Around her, the forest exhales softly, and you exhale with it, letting the tension of the day slip away into the dark, calm night. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft sway of leaves, the gentle hum of water, and the patient, quiet steps of the huntress. Let her calm courage fill your chest, her careful movements ease your mind, and her peaceful rhythm guide you into gentle rest. Now drift, as the moon rises fully, and the forest folds you into its protective, serene embrace. The night drifts softly over the hills, carrying a cool hush that folds gently into the valleys. A faint glow flickers in the distance, warm and steady, like a heartbeat in the dark. You float quietly toward it, feeling the gentle pull of light through the soft veil of night. The air is scented faintly with smoke and wild herbs, mingling with the calm of still earth. As you approach, the glow grows, revealing a circle of fire, its flames dancing softly in a silent rhythm. Around it stand the daughters of the sacred flame, their faces serene and tender, their hands moving gently over small braziers and flickering torches. The firelight plays over their features, painting them in soft gold and amber, and you sense a presence that is at once comforting and protective. The fire crackles quietly, a soft murmur that seems to echo in your chest, a rhythm slow enough to match your own breathing. Each daughter moves with grace, tending the flames with reverence, adding small twigs and herbs, letting the embers rise and fall with gentle care. The circle is calm, yet alive, and as you drift closer, you feel the warmth extend outward, reaching you like a quiet embrace. In this sacred space, there is no hurry, no rush, only the slow unfolding of devotion. The daughters chant softly, their voices a gentle hum blending with the whispering flames. The sound is not loud, not demanding, but a lullaby of devotion, wrapping the clearing in calm. You feel the vibrations of their voices pass through the night, softening the edges of your thoughts, letting your mind float freely in quiet reflection. The flames twist and curl, casting playful shadows on the ground, dancing lightly over moss and stone. Each daughter moves in harmony with the fire, their hands shaping gestures that speak of care and attention, of warmth given without expectation. The fire responds, glowing brighter and then settling back, as if breathing alongside them, a living presence, patient and kind. You notice how each daughter tends a particular flame, each flame unique, yet all connected in the circle. One woman sprinkles herbs into a brazier and the smoke rises slowly, curling like ribbons toward the sky. Another traces gentle arcs above the embers, her hands guiding the light without touching it. The circle hums with quiet purpose, each movement teaching balance and gentle strength. A soft wind flows through the clearing, carrying the scent of the fire and the earth beyond. The daughters adjust their robes, the fabric brushing softly against one another, and the sound mingles with the crackle of the flames. Your mind follows this rhythm, letting the world outside fade further away, letting the circle of fire and the gentle devotion of these women fill your senses and calm your heart. In the center of the circle, a larger flame burns steadily, bright but soft, casting light over all who gather near it. The daughters kneel around it, their hands lifted in quiet offering. The fire responds as though it listens, glowing warmer where their hands hover, dimming where they pause. You feel this presence like a gentle tide, washing away tension, drawing your thoughts into stillness. Each daughter holds her own flame carefully, yet none guards it selfishly. Their devotion is shared, a collective warmth that spreads evenly across the clearing. They move in a dance of soft gestures, hands lifting, lowering, tracing circles, touching the air with care. The rhythm is slow, unhurried, and you feel your own heartbeat slow to match the quiet flow around you. Somewhere beyond the circle, the forest breathes with its own rhythm. Leaves rustle softly, and distant water hums quietly over stones. The daughters of the flame are part of this harmony, their chants and gestures harmonizing with the life around them. You sense the interweaving of spirit, fire, and nature, a reminder that warmth is more than heat, that devotion can be gentle and all-encompassing. The eldest of the daughters moves toward the center, her hands cupped around a small spark that leaps into the larger flame. She smiles softly, her eyes reflecting the firelight, and you feel the calm spread further through your chest. There is a patience here, a knowing that warmth can hold and protect without force, and that solace comes not through loudness, but through gentle presence. A flicker from one of the torches casts shadows across the circle, and you notice how each daughter responds, adjusting her movements in harmony with the light, letting the shadows fall softly, never harshly. The entire space seems alive with quiet attentiveness, a meditation of care and mindful presence. You float among these rhythms, letting each breath, each movement, and each whisper of smoke guide you deeper into calm. They chant again, softly, the words rising and falling like the waves of a gentle tide. The flames bend and sway, their warmth touching every corner of the clearing. You feel each note, each vibration of devotion spread into the night, and the circle of warmth enfolds you completely. The world outside is distant, dim, and the quiet of this sacred place fills your senses with gentle reassurance. Some flames dance higher, responding to the subtle gestures of the daughters, while others rest quietly, their embers glowing in peaceful steadiness. The interplay between movement and stillness becomes a lullaby in itself. You breathe with the rhythm, each inhalation slow and gentle, each exhalation releasing the tension of the day, letting yourself sink fully into the calm of fire and devotion. The daughters move closer together, hands sometimes touching in a soft, reassuring gesture. Their presence is protective, and their warmth seems to extend beyond the circle, reaching into the night and touching the wandering spirits of the forest. You feel your mind settle, your chest soften, and your thoughts quiet as you drift alongside their gentle, careful movements. Smoke rises in thin, curling streams, mingling with the cool night air. The firelight reflects softly in your eyes, in your mind, and in your chest. The daughter's eyes meet yours for a fleeting moment, not in expectation, but in gentle acknowledgement, a quiet sharing of presence. You feel held, watched over, and safe in this sacred circle. The moon rises fully now, silver and soft, casting its glow over the clearing. The daughters lower their hands, bowing slightly toward the fire. Their movements are deliberate, slow, and rhythmic, like a prayer without words. The flames respond, settling into a steady, comforting glow, echoing the calm that has been spreading through your body and mind. The night deepens, and the daughters begin to hum softly again, a gentle melody that seems to flow from the fire itself. You feel yourself drawn into the song, carried by its warmth and patience, every note a soft stroke against your tired thoughts. Your eyelids grow heavy, your breathing slows, and your mind drifts gently with the rhythm of flame, smoke, and quiet devotion. The daughters circle the fire once more, slowly, carefully, their hands tracing invisible patterns above the embers. Each gesture is soft, protective, and deliberate, like a lullaby for the world itself. You drift among their movements, feeling the warmth wrap around you like a soft blanket. Every flicker of light a gentle reminder that care can be quiet, strength can be gentle, and devotion can soothe. Let us drift onward, carried by the glow of sacred flames, by the tender rhythm of the daughters' devotion, and by the quiet warmth of their presence. Let this gentle fire fill your heart, soften your thoughts, and ease you toward rest. Now drift as the stars return above, and the circle of sacred flame wraps you in its protective embrace, carrying you into deep, serene sleep. The night spreads its quiet across the hills, a soft velvet darkness that settles over the land. You drift along a narrow path, the earth cool beneath your feet, and the faint sound of distant water guides you onward. The air is still, carrying the scent of moss and stone, and a gentle hush seems to hush even your own thoughts. Stars glimmer faintly above, small, patient lights that watch silently, and the moon casts a gentle silver glow over the path. Ahead, a faint light flickers among the trees. It is soft and steady, inviting without demand. You float closer and see a small temple, humble and ancient, its walls veiled in shadow and moonlight. At its center sits a woman, the silent oracle, her presence calm and unbroken. She speaks no words, yet you sense her wisdom, flowing outward like water rippling across a still pond. Each movement she makes is deliberate, each gesture quiet and full of meaning. Her hands rise slowly, fingers tracing arcs through the air, pointing, circling, resting. The motion is gentle, unhurried, like wind brushing the tops of tall grasses. Her eyes meet yours for a brief moment, soft and unassuming, yet holding a depth that seems to touch your very spirit. You feel yourself breathing with her rhythm, each exhale releasing tension, each inhale gathering calm. Around the temple, shadows play softly over stone and vine. They rise and fall with the movements of the oracle, bending light into gentle patterns. You notice how even the smallest gesture, tilting a head, lifting a hand, seems to carry meaning, like a secret language spoken without sound. Here, wisdom is not hurried. It is patient, waiting to be felt rather than heard. The oracle rises slowly, and you see her walk among small bowls of water and earth. Her fingers trace circles above them, stirring invisible currents that ripple through the air. The surfaces of the water shimmer in the moonlight, reflecting not just the temple walls, but the calm that gathers in the quiet. Each ripple carries a soft pulse, like a whisper that asks nothing, yet reveals everything to the patient heart. In the silence, you notice the faint rustle of leaves and the occasional soft call of night birds. The sounds are subtle, gentle companions to the stillness. The oracle's gestures seem to echo them, her hands moving in the same rhythm as the wind in the trees, her eyes following patterns you cannot name. The night feels alive yet serene, every detail softened by the patient quiet. She pauses before a small altar, her hands resting lightly over a simple flame. The fire is low and steady, flickering just enough to cast a warm glow. You sense that this is the center of her teaching, that knowledge and guidance do not always arrive in words, but in the spaces between them, in the silent unfolding of presence. You feel your own thoughts slow, settling into these spaces, drifting in the calm of attentive silence. Her gestures become a gentle story. One hand rises, tracing the shape of a circle, then a spiral, then rests lightly on her chest. Another motion sweeps outward, as if to invite the surrounding world into the quiet sanctuary. You follow these movements with your eyes and your mind, letting the story unfold in your chest rather than your ears. Each motion is a gentle lesson in patience, care, and subtle attention. The flame flickers higher, responding to the oracle's presence, and you notice how shadows stretch across the temple walls, soft and embracing. She turns, her robes brushing the ground lightly, and steps closer to the outer edge of the temple. Here the night presses close, and you feel the gentle hush of everything breathing together. The trees, the stars, the earth, and the woman who teaches without speaking. A soft breeze moves through the open windows, carrying with it the scent of distant flowers and the cool whisper of the night. The oracle lifts her hand to meet the wind, letting it play across her fingers, then lowering it slowly. You feel the wind, as if it is moving through your own chest, scattering the last traces of unrest, leaving only calm and stillness. The temple seems to pulse in quiet understanding. Each step she takes is light, careful, deliberate. She pauses before a small stone, placing a hand above it without touching. The energy seems to ripple outward, soft, almost imperceptible, yet filling the space with a sense of presence and purpose. You feel your mind follow the gentle flow, relaxing into the rhythm of unspoken understanding. She kneels beside a shallow pool, her reflection soft and still in the water. Her hands move above it slowly, tracing lines that bend and fold like gentle waves. The pool responds with a faint shimmer, the surface rippling softly as though acknowledging the touch of patience. You feel your own chest rise and fall in the same gentle cadence, every breath drawing you deeper into calm and ease. Around the temple, small candles flicker, their flames dancing lightly in the corners, casting long, soft shadows. The oracle moves among them, lifting a finger to trace the edges of their light, bending the shadows into subtle patterns. Each motion feels like a quiet poem, and you realize that the world can speak without words. That guidance often comes in gestures, in the soft motions of attention and care. The moon rises higher, bathing the temple in silver calm. The oracle's hands lift slowly, palms open, and the shadows around her soften even further. You notice how still everything is, yet full of life. The air is calm, yet it hums with the quiet energy of presence. You float along with it, letting each subtle movement, each flicker of light, settle into your chest, your mind, your spirit. Her eyes close for a moment, and the temple grows even quieter. You feel the gentle pulse of silence, the rhythm of calm, the soothing weight of a world that does not demand but invites. Each gesture she has made, each soft movement of her hands and fingers, has led you deeper into this hush, deeper into a place where wisdom is felt rather than spoken. She rises once more, slowly, and steps to the outer edge of the temple. The night stretches wide beyond, dark and soft, and the stars glimmer patiently. Her hands rise in a gentle arc, and the wind carries the quiet rhythm outward. You feel the night, the temple, and the oracle all merging into one calm flow, a soft river of stillness that carries you gently onward. The silent oracle returns to the center, kneeling beside the flame. She places her hands lightly above it, and the light steadies, glowing warmly and evenly. You sense that her lesson has reached you, that guidance arrives softly, that presence can teach more than words, that wisdom is often found in quiet observation and gentle attention. Now, As you float in this gentle sanctuary, let the calm of her gestures fill your mind. Let the rhythm of her silent teaching slow your thoughts, soften your chest, and ease you into deep, serene rest. Let us drift onward, carried by the hush of the night, the gentle glow of flame, and the quiet wisdom of the silent oracle. The world outside is distant, the stars above patient and kind. The temple holds its calm, and you sink fully into the gentle flow of presence, every breath a lullaby, every heartbeat a soft drum guiding you into sleep. The oracle watches silently, her hands folded, her gaze steady, and you know that you are held in warmth, wisdom, and quiet care. Now rest as the stars return, as the wind carries gentle whispers, and as the silent oracle remains a quiet guardian in the stillness of night. Drift into calm, into the hush, into the peace that fills this sacred place. The night unfolds like a soft cloth over the hills, a quiet blanket of silver and shadow. You float along a gentle path, the earth beneath your feet firm yet forgiving, the air warm with the hush of evening. Somewhere far ahead, a river murmurs, its sound a lullaby that reaches through the stillness, inviting you closer with each step. The moon leans low in the sky, its light soft and steady, glinting across the surface of water that moves with serene patience. You arrive at the riverbank and pause. The water flows slowly, carrying reflections of stars and the faint glow of moonlight. Its surface ripples gently with the night breeze, and each movement seems to carry a whisper of calm. Along the edge, reeds sway, bending with quiet grace. The river is more than water. It is a mirror, a gentle guide, a passage that draws away heaviness and invites the spirit to rest. By the river sits a circle of women, their robes blending with the soft colors of dusk and shadow. They move slowly, their hands brushing the water's surface, letting it slip through their fingers like liquid light. Each gesture is deliberate, gentle, and full of reverence. Their eyes are serene, faces soft in the reflection of the moon, and their presence brings a quiet warmth to the night. The river seems to respond to their motion. Tiny ripples spread outward, carrying the glow of reflected stars. Each wave seems to gather tension and scatter it, leaving only a sense of ease, of being held, of belonging to the calm rhythm of nature. You feel your chest lighten, your thoughts slowing, as if the river itself is teaching you the art of gentle release. One woman lifts a small vessel of water, tilting it slightly so the liquid spills back into the river. You watch as the water merges seamlessly with the current, each drop a soft sigh that blends into the larger flow. There is no rush here, no need for haste. The river carries everything with patient strength, and you sense that your own concerns can be let go in this same way, falling into the stream and flowing silently away. The women hum softly, a melody that rises and falls with the rhythm of the river. Their song is slow, soothing, like the beating of distant drums softened by the wind. It does not demand attention. Rather, it drifts over you like a gentle mist, filling the spaces between thoughts with warmth and light. You float with the melody, each note a soft ripple that moves through your body, softening muscles, calming the mind. The moon arcs higher, painting the water in bands of silver. A soft breeze brushes across the river, rustling leaves and carrying the faint scent of flowers and wet earth. You notice how the women's hands move in harmony with the wind, their fingers tracing circles and spirals above the water, guiding the ripples in subtle, reverent patterns. Each gesture seems to be a prayer without words, a gift to the river, and a reflection of the calm within. A small boat drifts into view, carried by the river's gentle current. It is empty, save for the soft shimmer of the moon on its surface. You sense that it is here to carry you, should you choose, letting the river guide you through quiet, gentle passages. The women remain by the bank, their hands extended in blessing, their presence a quiet invitation to trust the flow of night and water alike. You step into the boat, feeling the gentle sway as it responds to the river's touch. Each movement is slow, harmonious, like a dance with the current. The water laps softly at the edges, and you sense that the river listens, carrying your breath, your heartbeat, your quiet thoughts along with it. You drift deeper into the night, every ripple a soft pulse of renewal, every glint of moonlight a reassurance of serenity. Along the banks, reeds bend and shimmer, casting shadows that stretch like soft fingers into the water. The women move among them, their gestures tracing lines in the air that seem to fold into the river, merging sky, earth, and spirit. Their song rises again, low and comforting, mingling with the gentle rush of water. You feel each note as a calm vibration in your chest, spreading warmth and quiet. The river widens and you see small pools where the water rests briefly before flowing onward. The women kneel beside these pools, cupping the water in their hands, lifting it to their faces, letting it trickle slowly back into the stream. Each drop carries a soft promise: release, renewal, and the gentle assurance that nothing is permanent except the calm that comes from presence. Stars shimmer above, mirrored in the water below. The river carries them in gentle arcs, folding the night sky into its movement. You notice how the women's eyes follow the stars, how their hands reach toward the heavens even as they touch the flowing water. Their motions seem to teach a quiet lesson, that the sacred and the ordinary, the sky and the stream, the still and the moving, are all part of the same gentle rhythm. A small deer comes to drink at the river's edge, its movements slow and careful. The women watch quietly, hands resting lightly on the water, faces calm and soft. The deer lifts its head, meeting their gaze, and then continues, unhurried. You feel the same quiet attention in yourself, a sense that all of life moves in cycles of care, respect, and gentle observation. The river mirrors this wisdom, its currents patient, its surface forgiving, its flow steady and kind. The boat drifts past a bend where the river narrows and twists between mossy stones. The sound of water softens here, becoming a gentle trickle, a soothing pulse. The women's voices blend with the current, low and undemanding, and you sense that the river carries their blessings as much as their presence. Every ripple seems to wash away remnants of worry, leaving calm and clarity in its place. The night deepens, and a soft mist rises from the water, curling around the boat and the riverbank like a gentle embrace. The women's hands move through it, tracing arcs and circles that dissolve into the haze. You feel yourself merging with this mist, your body light, your mind quiet, your spirit carried along with each soft wave of water and song. You float past lilies and reeds, past smooth stones that rise like islands in the gentle stream. Each one is bathed in moonlight, each shadow soft and tender. The women's song hums over the water, and you notice how their gestures now seem slower, more meditative, as if they are guiding not just the river, but your own heart into rest. The sacred water flows steadily, a rhythm that mirrors the quiet beating of your chest. A gentle wind stirs, lifting ripples and carrying the faint scent of jasmine. The river bends once more, opening into a wide pool where the water rests almost still. The women kneel at the edge, hands dipping lightly into the surface, their faces serene. You float here as well, letting the stillness settle over you, letting the current carry every tension away. The river becomes a soft mirror, reflecting your own calm, your own gentle presence in the night. The moon glows softly overhead, silver and patient. The women rise, their hands sweeping upward, tracing arcs that seem to lift the river itself. You feel your body rise with them, buoyed by the calm, carried by the gentle motion of water and wind. Every breath is a wave, every heartbeat a soft ripple that moves you deeper into rest. The river narrows again, flowing steadily onward, its currents gentle and sure. You drift along, trusting its course, trusting the quiet wisdom of the women who have guided this sacred path. Their song becomes a whisper now, fading softly into the night, leaving only the gentle murmur of water and the hush of moonlight. You notice how the river carries both reflection and renewal. Each ripple seems to take a small burden away. Every shimmer of moonlight a gentle reassurance. The women kneel one last time beside the water, their hands resting lightly above the surface, sending calm and peace into every ripple. You feel this blessing in your chest, in your limbs, in your spirit, and you let yourself sink fully into it. The river flows on, past reeds and stones, past stars mirrored in its surface, past gentle bends and still pools. You float with it, each movement slow, soft, and certain. The night embraces you, the water carries you, and the sacred song of the women fades into a gentle echo that remains in the heart. Now rest. Let the currents of the river carry your mind into calm. Let every ripple wash away worry, and let the gentle presence of the sacred waters fill you with serenity. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft flow, under the patient gaze of the moon, into the quiet and stillness that waits beyond each bend. The night settles softly over the land, a veil of shadow and silver that touches every branch, every stone, every curve of the earth. You walk along a quiet path, the soil cool beneath your feet, the air still and tender, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and damp leaves. Somewhere ahead, a sanctuary rises, half hidden in the folds of mist and darkness, its walls blending with the night. You are drawn toward it, each step slow, each breath a soft echo in the calm. The sanctuary is shrouded, its entrance framed by arched stones, smooth and worn with time. A single lantern glows faintly, casting pools of amber light that ripple across the ground. The glow does not demand attention. It simply exists, welcoming, gentle, like a quiet heartbeat in the evening. You feel a sense of ease as you step closer, your mind softening, your body relaxing with every step. Inside, the air is still, scented with incense and the faint, sweet earthiness of herbs. The walls are lined with draped fabrics that fall like liquid shadow, their folds deep and inviting. In the center sits a woman, cloaked in layers of midnight blue and soft gray. Her face is partly hidden beneath a hood, and her hands rest gently in her lap. Though her features are shadowed, her presence radiates calm, and you feel an immediate sense of safety. The mystic does not speak, yet the silence is full of meaning. Each breath she takes seems to echo in the room, a rhythm that matches the quiet of your own heart. Her eyes, when they meet yours, do not pierce or question. They welcome, as though the mysteries of life itself are being offered in a soft, unspoken gesture. You notice how the flickering candlelight dances across her robes, soft and slow, like water reflecting stars. Around her, small candles glow faintly, each one a gentle pulse of light. They are arranged in circles and lines, guiding the eye softly through the room. The shadows that fall between them are not dark in a frightening way. They are calm, protective, and embracing. You feel as if the sanctuary itself is breathing with you, every shadow a gentle reminder that mystery is not to be feared, but held softly in awareness. The cloaked mystic lifts her hand slowly, tracing arcs in the air. Though she speaks no words, the gesture is a blessing. It is as if the unseen currents of time and life are flowing through her fingers, touching the space around her, touching you. Each motion is deliberate, yet effortless, like wind-bending reeds in a quiet field. You notice the rhythm of her movements and find your own body following its soft cadence, muscles releasing, thoughts drifting into calm pools of awareness. She reaches toward a small basin of water, cupping it lightly. The liquid is smooth and still, reflecting the gentle glow of the candles. She lifts it, tilts it, and lets a few drops fall onto the floor, each splash a soft note that joins the quiet music of the sanctuary. The water ripples outward, carrying with it a sense of release, a gentle reminder that all things, even mysteries, can flow without disturbance. You feel a weight lift from your chest, as if the river of her presence carries away tension you did not know you held. A soft wind drifts through the open window, rustling the drapes and carrying the scent of night blooms. The mystic's hooded head tilts slightly, following the movement of the air. Her hands rise again, tracing circles in the space between shadow and light, guiding unseen energy with gentle precision. Each gesture seems to whisper, "Here." There is no hurry, no demand, only calm and understanding. You feel the same quiet settle within you, as if your own mind is floating in harmony with hers. Around the sanctuary, small shelves hold jars of herbs and crystals, each placed with care, each a silent testament to patience and devotion. The mystic moves among them, fingers brushing the tops, arranging with soft, mindful motions. You notice that even in this stillness there is a rhythm, a pulse that matches the beat of your own heart. You breathe with the space, inhaling peace, exhaling quiet, letting the gentle presence of the cloaked figure guide your awareness deeper into rest. The shadows lengthen as the candle flames flicker. They shift across the walls, stretching into soft tendrils, yet never dark or threatening. Instead, they feel protective, like hands wrapping gently around the edges of your spirit, reassuring and tender. The mystic's hooded face remains calm, her eyes a soft anchor in the dimness. You sense that she sees not just the surface of things, but the quiet threads beneath, the flowing currents of life and afterlife, all held with patience and care. Slowly, she rises, her movements fluid and deliberate, Like water moving over smooth stones, she approaches a small altar at the back of the sanctuary, placing her hands lightly on its surface. The air seems to respond, heavy with a sense of gentle power, quiet yet profound. She does not speak. Her presence alone conveys the comfort of understanding, the reassurance that even the unseen and the unknown are embraced here. In the stillness of shadow and candlelight, the mystic's hands lift once more, this time tracing patterns in the air that seem to shimmer faintly, as if the night itself responds. You feel a warmth spreading through your chest, a sense of calm that goes deeper than thought. Each gesture, each silent movement carries a lesson of patience, a whisper of the eternal, that mystery and clarity can coexist, that even the unknown can cradle the soul in softness. You notice small figures in the room, tiny carvings of women, guardians of the sanctuary, each holding objects of quiet significance. Their presence blends with the shadows, forming a tapestry of calm, devotion, and protection. The cloaked mystic moves among them, bowing slightly, her gestures connecting past and present. Life and afterlife, all in gentle motion. You feel the weight of time loosen, as if you are floating outside its rigid bounds, carried only by the soft rhythm of the sanctuary. A single bell chimes softly, its tone long and tender, echoing through the still air. The sound is not sharp but soothing, like the gentle fall of rain on a distant roof. You feel it in your chest, a soft vibration that spreads warmth and peace through every limb. The mystic's hands rest once more, folded in quiet meditation. The sanctuary is alive with calm, each shadow and light a note in the gentle music of night and mystery. Outside, the moon rises higher, spilling silver across the floor and through the open window. The cloaked mystic turns toward it, her hooded gaze lifting to meet the quiet sky. You feel a pull of wonder, not of fear, but of gentle awe. The world beyond the sanctuary seems vast and tender, and you realize that the peace within this space can follow you anywhere, carried softly like a feather in the night. She lifts her hand in a final gesture, a slow arc that encompasses the room, the shadows, the candlelight, and the quiet corners of your mind. Her presence seems to linger even as she lowers her arms, and you feel the gentle imprint of her calm remaining with you, a soft warmth in the chest, a quiet clarity in the mind. The mysteries of life and afterlife, the unseen currents of time, are all present here, acknowledged, yet gentle and unthreatening. The candles flicker once, twice, then settle, their light steady and tender. The shadows soften, folding over each other like soft silk. You notice that your own breath has deepened, slow and even, carried along by the rhythm of the sanctuary. You feel weightless, your body and mind floating in the quiet embrace of this sacred space. The cloaked mystic steps back, sitting once more in her center space, and lowers her hood slightly. Her eyes meet yours again, calm, steady, and welcoming. You sense the quiet invitation to let go, to drift, to rest in the soft embrace of mystery. Each ripple of shadow, each shimmer of candlelight, carries a blessing of serenity, patience, and gentle understanding. Now, rest. Let the calm of the cloaked mystic fill your mind. Let every shadow be a soft hand guiding you, every candle a heartbeat of peace. Let the quiet embrace of the sanctuary flow through you, carrying away tension, lifting your spirit, and leaving you light, serene, and cradled. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle rhythm of night, into the stillness that waits beyond each quiet breath. Night drifts slowly across the land, a quiet cloak of silver and shadow, soft as a sigh. You wander along a hidden path, the earth beneath your feet tender and cool, lined with moss and petals fallen from unseen blooms. Each step carries you farther from the clamor of waking hours, and closer to a sanctuary of gentle devotion. Before you lies a garden, expansive and timeless, framed by trees whose branches sway lightly in the whispering wind. The air is perfumed with a mixture of jasmine, rose, and soft herbs, a scent that seems to settle over your shoulders like a comforting shawl. The moon above bathes everything in silver light, giving the petals a gentle shimmer, as if each one holds a tiny reflection of the stars. In this garden, women move softly among the flowers, their hands brushing gently over blossoms and leaves. Their movements are slow, deliberate, and tender, as if each gesture is a prayer. They wear flowing robes, pale as dawn or deep as twilight, and their faces are serene, lit by the quiet glow of lanterns tucked among the foliage. There is no rush here, no demand, only the soft rhythm of devotion and care. You float among the pathways, feeling the soft moss and petals underfoot. Every flower seems to hum with quiet energy, petals trembling gently in the breeze. You notice a woman kneeling beside a small cluster of roses, her fingers brushing the petals as she hums a note so soft it feels like a ripple across water. The hum carries without sound, touching the air with a sense of ease and patience. Above, lanterns hang like suspended stars, their amber light spilling across the leaves and blossoms. Shadows dance lightly over the ground, stretching and folding with the sway of branches and petals. Each shadow feels protective, gentle, a soft embrace that guides you along the winding paths. You breathe slowly, letting the calm of the garden settle deep into your chest, your mind drifting with the rhythm of the night. The women in the garden move with intention, planting new seeds, pruning tender shoots, and watering small saplings. Each act is a meditation, each touch a blessing. You feel the presence of generations here, as if the garden has always existed, tended by countless hands devoted to care and serenity. You sense that every flower holds not just color and fragrance, but the quiet wisdom of patience and gentle guidance. A soft breeze flows through the garden, carrying the delicate scent of petals and herbs. It brushes against your cheeks, whispers in your hair, and ruffles the folds of your robe if you wear one. You feel the air as a tender presence, guiding you deeper into the sanctuary. Tiny petals fall, drifting lazily to the ground, each one a small lesson in letting go, in surrendering to the gentle rhythms of life. In the center of the garden stands a fountain, small and circular, its water glimmering in the moonlight. The sound of the water is soft, a slow repeating melody that echoes through the garden. Women kneel beside the fountain, cupping the water in their hands, letting it trickle over the soil, nourishing the earth and the spirit alike. You watch, entranced, and find your own breath slowing to match the gentle rhythm of the flowing water. The garden is alive with subtle life. Birds that sing only in whispers, insects whose wings glint in the moonlight, and small animals that move silently through the undergrowth. Each movement feels deliberate and calm, a reflection of the stillness of the women who tend the garden. You sense that every creature here is embraced, held in a space of care and quiet attention. A woman approaches you softly, her robe trailing like water over the path. She carries a basket of petals, each one a delicate shade, soft to the touch. Without speaking, she offers a petal to you. You accept it, feeling its warmth and fragility. It rests in your palm like a small promise, a whisper of the eternal patience that flows through the garden and all who dwell within it. You watch as she moves back to her work, scattering petals along the paths and into the fountain. The water carries them gently, each petal floating like a tiny boat, guided by unseen hands. You feel a quiet understanding that the garden is not just a place, but a reflection of care, devotion, and the slow, patient unfolding of life. Every flower, every ripple of water, every falling petal holds the gentle guidance of those who tend it. The moonlight shifts, spilling silver across a bed of lilies, their white petals open to the night sky. You notice a woman kneeling there, hands pressed softly together in prayer. Her head bows slowly, her breath a calm rhythm in the still air. The lilies sway slightly, as if acknowledging her presence, their fragrance thickening the air with quiet grace. You feel a sense of reverence, not of awe, but of peace. A knowledge that this garden holds a sanctuary for every wandering spirit. As you walk along the winding paths, you notice small sculptures hidden among the flowers, figures of women, carved in stone or wood, each one capturing a moment of gentle devotion. One holds a watering can, another gathers petals, another rests in quiet meditation. The figures blend seamlessly with the natural beauty around them, a testament to harmony between human care and the eternal rhythms of the earth. A soft murmur drifts through the garden, the echo of voices so gentle it is almost indistinguishable from the wind. The women sing not with force, but with soft tones, harmonizing with the night itself. Each note floats in the air, touching petals, leaves, and the soil beneath your feet. You feel the song resonate in your chest, a subtle vibration that spreads peace through your entire body, calming your mind, slowing your thoughts. Petals continue to drift from the trees above, falling like gentle snow. You reach out, catching one and feeling its soft edges, the smoothness of its surface, the warmth of its brief life. Each petal seems to carry a message: to be gentle with yourself, to let go of worry, to move with patience and care. You breathe slowly, letting the fragrance fill your lungs, letting the softness touch your spirit. The women move among the flowers with deliberate care, tending each bloom as though it were a sacred trust. You notice the rhythm of their steps, the quiet timing of their gestures. Each movement is meditative, a slow flow that blends with the breeze, the murmur of water, and the soft songs of the night. You feel your own body relaxing, moving in harmony with the gentle cadence of the garden. You reach the fountain once more and kneel beside it, cupping your hands in the water. The petals drift by, touching your fingers and floating onward. You feel a quiet renewal, as if the water itself carries away small burdens, gently cleansing and soothing your spirit. The garden holds you in its calm embrace, its soft light and tender fragrance a sanctuary for rest and contemplation. Lanterns sway gently in the breeze, casting moving patterns across the paths. Shadows fold softly around the flowers, embracing them as they do the women who care for them. You notice a woman gathering petals into a small bowl, her movement slow and mindful. She lifts the bowl, letting petals float onto the paths and into the air. Each petal glides with ease, carrying peace and quiet into every corner of the garden. The moon drifts higher, silvering the trees and petals with its gentle light. You feel the calm of the night deepen, the garden's serenity flowing into your mind and body. The soft petals continue to fall, the water murmurs in quiet song, and the women move with graceful purpose, guiding the life of the garden with patience and devotion. You lie back on the soft moss, feeling the earth beneath you and the petals brushing your skin. The fragrances of jasmine and rose fill your senses, the soft hum of song and water carrying you into a deeper sense of peace. You realize that the garden is not only a place but a state of being, a space where patience, devotion, and gentle guidance merge into serenity. Let the petals brush against your face, the soft fragrance fill your mind, and the calm of the women's work settle in your heart. Each flower, each ripple of water, each whisper of wind is a lullaby, carrying you softly into rest. Let the eternal garden hold you in its embrace, a gentle sanctuary where time slows, the world softens, and the mind drifts into stillness. Now rest. Let the soft petals of the eternal garden flow through your consciousness, guiding every breath, every heartbeat, every thought into quiet ease. Let the fragrance of devotion, the gentle hum of song, and the calm rhythm of water carry you into a night of deep, renewing sleep. Let us drift onward. Twilight descends gently, a soft cloak of lavender and silver draped over the hills and valleys. You walk along a path that curves lightly through the quiet, feeling the cool, comforting air brush against your cheeks. The ground beneath your feet is soft, mossed and tender, and the faint scent of distant flowers mingles with the gentle hush of evening. Every step brings you closer to a place that feels timeless, a sanctuary where light and serenity meet. Ahead, a temple rises, delicate and luminous, bathed in the last glow of the setting sun and the emerging silver of moonlight. Its pillars shine faintly, like they have absorbed the glow of countless stars, and the air around them shimmers with a quiet warmth. Lanterns sway gently at the entrance, casting soft dancing shadows along the steps, inviting you to approach with calm and ease. You move closer, noticing the subtle hum of the temple. It is not sound in the usual sense, but a vibration that fills the air, wrapping softly around your body. It feels like the exhale of the world itself, a slow breath shared with every stone, every petal, every surface of the temple. Inside, the temple opens into a wide hall. The floor is smooth and cool beneath your feet, and the walls glow faintly, lined with figures of divine women carved in soft, flowing relief. They are serene, luminous, their expressions gentle and knowing. Each figure seems to watch over the space, and yet their gaze is neither imposing nor commanding. It is comforting, like the warmth of a familiar presence. You drift slowly along the hall, noticing small altars dotted with candles and flowers. Each flame flickers softly, its light mingling with the ambient glow, painting the space in hues of gold, pink, and silver. The scent of incense lingers faintly in the air, carrying whispers of lavender, sandalwood, and jasmine. The smoke rises lazily, curling in quiet spirals, as if each wisp carries a prayer or a blessing. dissolving gently into the vast calm of the hall. A woman appears, moving gracefully among the pillars, her robes luminous as if touched by moonlight. She carries no words, only presence, and each step she takes leaves a trace of warmth, a whisper of light. You feel the gentle pulse of her energy in your chest, slow and rhythmic, matching the natural beat of your own heart. She approaches a central altar and pauses, lifting her hand slightly. Candles around her seem to brighten in response, their flames softening even further, glowing like captured starlight. Around her, other women move with similar grace, tending the temple with care and reverence. Some arrange small bouquets of petals, others kneel in silent devotion. Each movement is unhurried, deliberate, a meditation in itself. The air is filled with a subtle harmony, the brushing of robes, the gentle scent of flowers, the faint hum of candlelight. You feel the stillness deepen, a soft settling of mind and body, as if the temple itself breathes in sync with you. You notice a pool in the center of the hall, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the glowing figures and candles above. The water ripples gently, though there is no wind, no motion to disturb it. It seems to hold the essence of the temple, capturing light, scent, and presence in its calm reflection. You kneel beside the pool and let your fingers touch the surface. The cool touch spreads through your hand, then your arm, then your chest, carrying a soothing calm that flows into every corner of your being. Above, the temple's dome opens to the twilight sky. Stars begin to emerge faint and distant, like scattered petals of silver light. The women lift their faces to the sky, their movements synchronized with a quiet reverence, as if welcoming each star into their sanctuary. You notice that their gestures are soft, unhurried yet precise, a choreography of presence and care. Each star seems to respond, flickering brighter in acknowledgement, a gentle dialogue of light and intention. A gentle breeze enters the temple through open arches, carrying with it the scent of night-blooming flowers. The women move in harmony with the wind, letting it guide their hands, the folds of their robes, the drifting petals they scatter. You watch, mesmerized, as each motion carries an ease, a rhythm of timeless devotion and gentle care. You begin to float slowly through the temple, moving without effort along the polished floors, past the pillars and figures, past the pool that mirrors the sky above. Every surface, every corner is luminous, each shadow folded gently against the light. There is no hurry here, no demand, only the quiet invitation to rest, to breathe, to drift in harmony with the soft currents of presence and devotion that fill the hall. The woman near the altar lifts a small bowl of petals and lets them drift onto the pool. They float lightly, turning slowly in the reflection of candlelight and stars. You reach out, letting a few petals brush your palm, feeling their soft warmth. Each one carries a gentle promise, patience, care, stillness. You close your eyes for a moment and let the energy of the temple fill your senses. The fragrance, the soft light, the ripple of water, the gentle pulse of calm. Above, the stars grow brighter, mirrored perfectly in the pool below. The women move in harmony with the light, guiding it without speaking, letting it flow through the temple like a slow river of serenity. You feel yourself carried along, your breath matching the rhythm of their motions, your thoughts settling into the quiet space between heartbeats. Every flicker of flame, every drift of petal, every ripple in the water is a lullaby, carrying your mind toward gentle repose. A soft hum rises, almost imperceptible at first, then more pronounced, blending with the night air. It is the song of the temple, a melody without words, filled with the quiet devotion of those who tend it. You let the hum enter your mind, letting each note settle like a soft feather on your thoughts. The temple vibrates with this gentle song, a resonance that spreads through the pillars, the pool, the women, and into your own body, carrying deep restorative calm. Time seems to slow. Each moment stretches, filled with the glow of candlelight, the scent of flowers, the soft movements of devotion. You float in this stillness, cradled by the temple, embraced by the luminous presence of the women who dwell here. Each figure, each gesture, each ripple of water and drifting petal is a reminder that serenity is not distant. It is here, within you, accessible through stillness and gentle attention. The central figure returns to the pool, kneeling gracefully. She lifts her hands, letting light pour from her fingertips into the water. The pool glows brighter, reflecting not only the stars above, but the inner calm of your own heart. You feel the light touch your forehead, your shoulders, your chest, as if the temple itself is breathing peace into your being. You surrender to the warmth and serenity, letting go of tension, letting your mind float free. Petals continue to drift from her hands, joining others on the pool's surface, moving in harmony with the subtle currents of air and water. Each petal is a gentle signal, a whisper of the eternal care and devotion that fills this temple. You feel a soft shift inside yourself, a lightening of thought, a quieting of the mind. Every worry, every fleeting concern drifts away, absorbed by the luminous presence surrounding you. Above, the sky deepens into night, the stars steady and bright. The women kneel, bow, and rise in flowing motions, guiding light and presence into every corner of the temple. You notice that even the shadows hold calm. They fold softly around the figures, the pillars, the pool, never harsh, never sharp. Every surface, every space is embraced by gentle illumination. You feel the peace settle deeply, a serene glow radiating from the center of your chest to the tips of your fingers and toes. The woman at the altar lifts her gaze and smiles softly. It is not a smile that demands attention or recognition, only a quiet, luminous acknowledgement that you are welcome, that your presence here is met with care. The warmth of that acknowledgement spreads through you, a soft radiance that settles gently around your mind. You feel the glow of the temple entering your own being, carrying with it patience, care, and the slow, deep rhythm of serenity. You move toward the exit slowly, tracing the path you came. The pillars, the floating petals, the reflected stars, the quiet hum of devotion all accompany you. There is no rush, no need to leave quickly. You carry the luminous presence of the temple within, a gentle light that flows in your mind and heart, a steady current of calm. The temple doors open to the night sky. You step out and the cool air brushes softly against your skin. The stars above mirror the lights within, and you feel a connection to the vastness of the night, the gentle pulse of life, and the luminous care of those who tend both temple and world. You breathe slowly, feeling each inhalation and exhalation as a wave of serenity, letting the temple's glow drift with you. You find a place on soft grass, under the vast, gentle sky. The women remain within the temple, their presence radiant and soft, but you feel it carried now in your own being. You close your eyes, and the glow within you mirrors the light of the temple, the stars, and the petals drifting on the pool. You are cradled in calm, embraced by light, and carried gently into rest. Now, let your thoughts soften. Let your breath flow like the gentle rivers of the temple, carrying you onward. Let the luminous presence of devotion, care, and serenity drift into your dreams, settling softly into your mind. The night, the stars, the temple, and the gentle hands of the divine women guide you into deep, renewing sleep. Let us drift onward,